Tell you what, it's pretty sweaty on that bike. Just done about, I don't know, 10 miles, I suppose. Got me Lucas, eh? I have a smoke, I know that much. Wow. Well, at least I got out there early. Had to get a few things. More paintbrushes. Some more luminous green. But this time I'm going to undercoat it in white so I get a real bright green. And I've got some of my favourite tea, look. And probably the most expensive thing. This is my mountain bike disc brake. I've now got some new pads for that. It was a bit of a palaver though, finding the right ones. This girl knew. This bloke didn't even know. Yeah, that goes in there. Some white, some green. Tell you what, I just got to get out of this top. I've got to get out of this top. It's just, it's my cycling top, so it's like lets the air in. What one should we wear today? Tell you what, we'll wear that one. Let my heart rate get back down to normal. Yeah, it's coming along in here now. Basically finished all the black painting now. Just the door frame. I still ain't got no sound out any of them amplifiers. I'm deep in repairs at the minute. Supposed to get all thunder, lightning and all sorts today. Some more paintbrushes. A nice cup of this in a minute. My favourite powdered tea, man. They ain't had this in there for a week. In fact, I'm going to roll a joint. Can you believe it? I've still got a little bit of weed left. But as soon as that's gone, it's we're on the vapes. Anyway, anybody in the United Kingdom, or whatever we're calling ourselves nowadays, enjoy the cooler weather, because next weekend it's going to get stupid again. I've had a look and it's just up in the 30s again. That just does me in. Yeah, some severe rain out there in the night. Right, we should get out of this room, man. It's the smallest room, so it's like the highest. Oh. Haven't been magnet fishing yet, but I will do. So I've been doing my bike all morning. In fact, I've got new brake discs, new gear cables. Anyway, good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on wherever you are. Right, there we go, look. That'll do. In fact, I've got to sort my licence thing out. Got all my licence thingy-jig all ready to go. People think I'm joking when I say I'm putting down the weed, but I'm not. In fact, you'll all be able to watch me just put it down and not pick it up. Cold turkey and willpower. Saying that, I've got quite a goal to reach. Do you know what I mean? Sorting all my licence out. Buying some ridiculously expensive car, I think. Yeah, get a classic car. In fact, I see a nice mini, what was it, 1275 I think, came past me on the way to town. Right. What did I do with that? Look down there. Oh. Sugar. Three sugars to get me in it, 3 and a bit sugars. So I don't normally have all that sugar. It's just I've just got in from cycling. Oh, that's better. I don't normally have all that sugar. It's just I've just got in from cycling. Give myself a little energy boost. All right, great. Look. What's going on with this? They've got a leak. Oh, there's water coming out of there. Look. Got some kind of mad leak going on with me. My thermos cup. Right, yeah, I'm going to sit down, smoke that spliff, I reckon. What do you reckon? It's time to sit down, I think. Too much pedalling going on, there has been. Right, let's grab the bag of stuff. More paint brushes, more spray, more expense, £10 for brake pads. I can smell the old paint in here. Really got to get an amp going or do something. I might. I don't even think I have room for a TV in here. Wow. Oh, and I painted another one of my mum's pictures. Is going on the wall, just doing the frame. There's another one there, a record, a single. That's it, I'm putting nothing more on the wall. Anyway. Still got a couple couple of them left over. But I thought I'd buy some more. I'm going to need them. £2, not bad for £2, was it? They're okay actually, they do a good job. None of the bristles fall out. Not that I clean them and use them again, I just throw them away. Yeah. £2. I'll show you the back of my head later. Got a tidy old scar. Not the first one. In fact, I think that speaker hurt more than a bottle. When I got bottled in the pub, I didn't even know I'd been bottled. Fucking knew I'd been hit by that speaker though. Right, what we got? We got some more luminous green. I've decided that, and some white. I'm going to give me wheels a undercoat of white and then straight on with the green. It would come up really luminous then. What else we got? This is one of my disc brakes for my mountain bike that I'm building. I've got some new disc pads, £10. The bloke in Halford was rather useless though. He's fixing about 5,000 bikes, but the girl downstairs knew which one it was. Right. Anyway, syncing my emails. No, this ain't working. Yes, it is. Got some new shades as well. Got them the other day. I got 2 new sets. Two sets for £3, except these ones. They're my £30 ones. They cost me £30, but they're polarised for cycling. Plus, with autistic spectrum disorders, you get heightened senses, which is smell, sight, hearing, things like that. Phone's fucking... Oh, my phone's going crazy on its own. Hang on, mate. Peaky Blinder. Hang on, mate. And I'll be able to read that in a minute. Was hidden. I take it you've sworn. Hold up. Hello, mate. So I can't see you there, Peaky. For some reason, my phone's going mad and it's hidden your comment. Maybe I've hidden it. Press the wrong button. But hello, mate, anyway. Now, let me just try this quickly. That's all good. Wait for them skirting boards to dry. All the skirting boards are done now. All I've got to do is wait for them to dry and pull the maskings tape off. But I've had to tape up around the door frame. And then it's clearing the floor, clear the floor out and put the carpet down and the floor down after that. And eventually we might play me new records. In fact, I'm determined to get an amp going today. I think there's something jinxing me. I don't think it's an amp. Could be something else because I've tried 3 amps now. But it's all good. In fact, I've seen a really nice Yamaha. I don't know if anyone's seen my videos. I used to have a really nice Yamaha amplifier and I sold it because I got skin. But I've just seen a geezer asking 65 quid for another Yamaha one, identical to the one I had. I've just offered him 40, so we'll see what he says. Probably the nicest sounding amplifiers I've had are Techniques, are all right, but they just end up blowing up. Probably Pioneer, Yamaha. Saying that, I've had Sony amplifiers. I've had, what have I got down there? Cambridge Audio amplifiers. To be honest, you ain't got to have a right high-end setup. Obviously, I've got Techniques and all bits and bobs in my setup, but you haven't got to have all that set up really to enjoy your records and that. All you really need is a record player, right? And a graphic. Run it through a graphic, make it sound however you want. Yeah. I keep looking at, I'm looking at new Techniques, but I prefer the retro ones. But I really like Pioneer do what's called DJ PLX 1000s, which are all direct drive, just as good as Techniques. But they do a 500 version, which come in white, and the white decks look unbelievable. I fancy a pair of them, PLX 500s, but why, you know what I mean? My Techniques up here, one's from the 70s and one's from the 80s. And they're still kicking, you know what I mean? They're still rocking. The only difference, right, between this old school Techniques and a 1200 or a 1210 or fucking a GR or whatever you want to, fucking whatever Techniques you want. The only difference, right, between this and a 1210 or a 1200 or anything is torque. That's the only difference. And the quartz lock on. But to be honest, I've got pitch control on there. And it stays, as soon as I adjust it, it stays where I put it. Yeah, I think that one's from 1978. But yeah, I wouldn't get a 1210 anyway. I'd get a 1200. Not that I really need them. But yeah, you can get these Techniques GRs, whatever they are. They're like £3 grand, £4 grand a deck. £4 grand a deck. Got more money than sense, haven't you? What makes me laugh, right, is on Facebook, you get all these girl DJs, right, sitting there with all their fucking digital shit. And they're making out they're DJing, but they ain't. They're just fucking pressing the sync button, pressing buttons. Me and my friends, we actually learned to sort of beat mix properly. I think all this, don't get me wrong, I've tried to see CDJs and all that shit, to be honest, and the controllers and all that. It's just boring, man. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I collect records. But yeah, lots of Facebook DJs pressing the buttons. Do you know what I mean? In fact, I should do little lessons on there when I get the music going and get this room sorted. We'll do little DJing lessons, how to beat mix, how to count the beats. Saying that, me and my pals, first of all, we was my mate. He was mixing fucking tapes into another tape, and all sorts he had rigged up. There was an exclusive little group of us, group of about 10 of us, who was all into the acid and the drug, all the drugs and that. Obviously, years ago, it was all hush hush. You know what I mean? It wasn't like it is now, where fucking everybody's on drugs. You know what I mean? Back in the day, it was quite hush hush. Yeah. Now everyone's a druggie. Nah. We had kind of had a choice when I kind of left school and started going out. It was either go to the football, get pissed and have a fight. That's what all that they were doing, which didn't interest me. You could go to a real shit club, probably have a fight with a lager lout. That didn't interest me. But going out to these all-night parties, taking a bit of powder or whatever, a trip or whatever, do you know what I mean? I was right into that. I thought, yeah, this is it. Do you know what I mean? Really enjoyed it. The fact, obviously, the illegal parties, when it was all illegal, was just mad. The ones in London, Genesis and ones like that, Biology. They were just crazy. Really, you was your own security, really, in them early ones. But yeah, used to go out with a good friend of mine called Ivan, who's no longer with us. Blame it all on Ive, you instigator. No, a few of them are dead now, my pals. Troll my stream? Oh, I don't know about that. The Dominator. You could have a go at trolling me. A bit, you won't have no effect on me. But anyway, the trolls are welcome as long as you're not abusing anybody. It's all good. Start abusing other people, and I'll just delete you. But everybody's welcome here. But it's all good. Old tent's still out there, look. Boom, the old tents are still up. Got to put that speaker back up, one that hit me on the head. But a few trolls coming in. But anyway, back to the acid parties and that. We used to put on our own little parties at the weekend. We just used to get my mate's van, put my mate's decks in there with a generator, with a bit of diesel, and just shoot off with the records. Just have parties wherever. Yeah. We used to go Dungeness as well, do parties down there, Camber Sands. There would have been Ivan. I'm going to name them all now. There would have been Ivan. I won't say the surnames though. Some people might know him. Ivan, Jason, Mick, Damien, me, Gary. To start with, and then lots of others. We had a couple of my friend Rachel and Kelly. We had two girls sort of in our little. Well, we had a gang of them at one point in our little sort of group. Yeah, crazy, eh? And we used to get wasted at these raves, come back, and then I'm going to say Mick, I've already said he's probably got ADHD. We used to get wasted, and I used to come alive like after the rave, obviously because of my ADHD. My mate Mick always used to be there with me. Crazy, eh? Crazy goings on. In fact, went to a good party with Mick, out of Scouter, I think it was, Milton Keynes. He just turned up at my house because he used to live behind my house, and he shouted out, "Want to come to a rave? Got to sell some E's." So we dived in his car. Don't think I sold any E's. I was just sitting there munching and partying all night. It's crazy. Yeah, Milton Keynes that was. We come out of there, and it was pissing down, and we aquaplaned. My mate had what did he have? A Volkswagen Scirocco. And we was aquaplaning, man. Yeah, good party that was. And then we got the World Dance in London, where I got the bouncer caught me with the drugs. I had to sort of strike a deal with him. Basically, we gone into the rave, everybody, and I've obviously had all my stash was in my shoe, and I've got in there with it. But anyway, I've gone into the toilet, right, into the little cubicle, and I've shut the cubicle door, just got my shoe off and that, getting the sort of tackle out, and this big coloured bouncer's just jumped, well, you know what I mean, he just looked over the side. He said, "Oh, open up." I thought I'm fucked now. And he basically said, "What you got there then?" And I said, "Oh, I've got this." I said, "What's the crack then?" He said, "Oh, you got to go like that." And I said, "How about, pal?" I said, "I come quite a long way from Kent." I said, "How about you take that and I'll just walk out and have a good night with my pals." You want to know what he did? He went, "Have a good one." That was it, do you know what I mean? I thought I was going to be sitting outside all night waiting for me pals, but yeah, struck a deal with him. That's the only two times I've ever been caught with drugs at a rave. The other, both World Dances. The other one was at Lid Airport, right? I stashed it all by my nuts, right? Honestly, and when they went to search me, straight on it, and they put me in this weird little hut, and then took me to Ashford police station, kept me there all night. And because I had the drugs I had on me, what did I have? I think I had 5 E's and 3 bags of speed. And this girl, police detective, she was interviewing me, and she was on about, like, you got quite a bit there. And I explained to her that, yeah, like, I've been into it since the word go, and like that keeps me going all night. And then she just done me for possession instead of with intent to supply. But what was funny was I had my mate's keys, right? Fiesta keys. Jeff, I had my mate's keys, and he's had to sit by the car after the rave, like, and wait for me. I didn't get out at the police station till about midday, and then I got a cab back to the rave, and my mate's sitting by the car. Fucking crazy. Yeah. Don't know what I got for that. Probably a fine that I didn't pay. That's what's mad, everybody. Like, obviously, I've been to court for having amphetamines when I was younger, and now they're giving in to me on prescription. I've been to court when I was younger for having ganja. Now I can get medical cannabis. It's mad. I don't know whether it's a good thing or a bad thing. I suppose it's good, really. Do you know what I mean? But that's only because of the ADHD and ASD. But I do believe that there's other things that people can get it for. I know MS, they can get it. But personally, I think they're securing it too much. It should be more freely available. To be honest, I don't see any problem with cannabis being legal for recreational use. Anybody that wants to smoke it, go and have a smoke, to be honest with you. It's far less dangerous than alcohol. It isn't a gateway drug. It doesn't lead on to other stuff. But yeah, I think probably in another 20 years it'd probably be legal. When I first went to court, Tunbridge Magistrates Court, way back in the day, right, I had a bit of solid that was about the size of a bird's eye pea. And this old woman, right, this magistrate, she looked at me like I was the biggest crack dealer in town. And now they get, what is it, a cannabis warning or whatever it is. Crazy. I don't know. Anyway, the drugs are all shit now anyway. All the E's are shit. I can remember when fucking you used to do like half an E, you'd be rolling around on the floor for like fucking 24 hours with your eyes in your back of the head. My mate Damien used to neck a few of them. Fucking hell. And Ben. I remember Ben doing fucking 18 at Well Dance. Fucking 18 pills. Fucking crazy. When the pills were good. I can remember, what else can I remember? I can remember that shit path that the Essex boys had. My brother, my oldest brother, he sort of connected with some dodgy people from Mepham in Kent. And he got a load of that shit path that Tucker and that got. Me and my mate, we got like a bar of it dirt cheap off my brother. And I've got to say, it was really shit path. I can see why they went after. Who was it they went after? Fucking the bloke that shot him, wasn't it? Put her in the shit path. But saying that, it did do something to you, and we knocked it all out anyway, cheap. But yeah, that was some real shit path. But saying that, it did do something. Because you'll find that, well, back in the day, I don't know what it's like now, but the supply route, sort of years ago, late 80s, 90s, whatever was in Essex was in Kent, probably came from Kent. People bang on about Essex, but there's just probably shiftier people in Kent, to be honest with you. Anyway, there was no Essex gang. It was just a few people having it right off. But crazy, eh? I'm surprised no one fucking went round. See, they wouldn't have got away with that round my way back in the day. Do you know what I mean? 2 or 3 bods going around fucking getting heavy with everyone. That had lasted about 10 minutes in this village. But I suppose a lot of them was running scared apart from Nipper. Who obviously shot Pat Tate, but I don't blame him. They said they was going to rape his sister and all sorts of shit. Fucking. I don't know. There was loads of people going to blow him away. There was what were they called? There was a couple of brothers who was to do with the money and a machine gun. There's so many people. Well, the people that killed the Essex boys are the ones that got nicked for it, but there's so many other people that had a good reason to. It all happened really quickly, really. I think it was a matter of weeks when Pat Tate come out, and then he, you know what I mean, he's dead. He did well then. But then again, the film depicts them all completely wrong. Like, obviously, Tony Tucker is portrayed as a right loudmouth geezer. But he weren't. He was actually middle class. Do you know what I mean? He weren't working class like me. He was middle class, quite a posh boy. He didn't swear, do you know what I mean? And all that shit. It's the same as, what's his name? Craig. And then you got Craig's brother, who's all right on here. They portrayed Craig as just a gopher, and he wasn't at all. In fact, I'd have probably been more worried about Rolf, really, because the other two were just steroid merchants, man. Do you know what I mean? Well, they all were, but then you've got Colton, who's just a bullshitter. Colton, the ICF bullshitter? No. He was in the ICF, all right. He weren't in the, you know what I mean? What makes you laugh for the Essex boys? Oh, yeah. Tony called me the night before I was supposed to be on that. About 5 people have come out and said, yeah, they were supposed to be on it. There's only a couple that have told the truth from what I can see. You got Big Lee, who's just a cuddly bear. He's telling the truth. You got Bernie, who's just talking complete bollocks. He was never even in the gang. You know what I mean? There was no gang. And Bernie certainly wasn't the fucking co-founding member. In fact, you'll find the pill that Leah Betts did, it was Bernie's pills in the club that he was knocking them out. He was in control of the pills. And then as soon as fucking Leah died, Tucker and that went, where are you? And he done a runner. And he done a runner. Do you know what I mean? Old Bernie. Crazy. I suppose whoever sells a book, isn't it? Been on here, look, 45 minutes. Best watch it. Old Bernie a bit at me door. You couldn't make it up, man. Gangland Essex, and then some. What's Bernie? A Brummie? Crazy. Still, what a way to go, eh? Blasted away. Poor Craig, he never really stood a chance. As soon as he got out the back door, mate, he's leant in with a 12 ball, right behind the headrest. Then I think he's done. Tucker. I think Tate, they kept him alive for a bit, I think, old Tate. He seems to have had wounds in his belly and all sorts. But yeah. What a grisly way to go. And of course the people that did it went to prison for it. Even though everyone says, oh, it weren't them and everything. Of course it was. Do you not think the criminal underworld would have come out with who it was if it wasn't them? And also, all the Southside evidence puts them right there. Also, Mickey Steele, when he got nicked, he never uttered a word, right, about an alibi or anything until he actually got to court. Now, I'm not being funny. If you'd just been pulled up, right, for a fucking treble murder, and they're putting it right on you, you're going to give an alibi straight away. But anyway, there you go. Saying that, they still served too much time in jail. Crazy. Then again, prison's just like a fucking holiday park, isn't it, nowadays? With your TV and all that. I'm a strong advocate in ripping them tellies out of them cells, taking all them luxuries away, and making them do time like I did time. Do you know what I mean? Like old school time. They would learn then. No kid's gonna. When I went to young offenders, right, Holiday Bay, which is where the Essex boys all met. Coincidentally, I was there about 6 years before them. But young offenders was just crazy. And now it's just. Now it's just PlayStations and holidays and stuff. And they're not going to learn, are they? I think a lot of these youths in the cities are just fucking. A lot of it's boredom when you get these gangs. I know a bit about gangs. Especially when you get up to like South London. And it's like sort of that street versus that street. It's all postcodes and that. Which is crazy, really. It would make more sense uniting and having a bigger gang, man, and fighting the next street. We used to fight. I was in the gang growing up in this village, and we used to fight other villages. Well, one main other village. But I can't imagine. Well, you'd be fighting your mates, wouldn't you, if you was doing the postcode stuff? In fact, they must do. Then again, it's all so I just got a message in. Oh, I ain't read it. It's just flashed up there. I forgot what I was going to say then. Getting quite deep today, aren't we? Put me in charge of the prisons and that, man. Get all them jihadi Muslims who are banning the bacon and all that bollocks. Fucking set them straight away. I think I'd be in trouble, man, if I went to jail, because the Muslims are like taking over, forcing people to fucking convert and that. I'd rather fucking go down getting battered, man, by a load of them than convert. You've only really got to do one of them properly. Do you know what I mean? Once you've done one of them properly, you're in that situation in prison. I mean, you may as well fucking go to town. Once you've done one of them properly and they've seen that, they'd just swerve you. They'll be swerving you for sure. They must just pick the vulnerable ones, because majority of people I know just tell them to fuck up. Excuse me language, but just tell them to F off. Especially when you get to places like Belmarsh and that, when you're mixing with all these, like that little coloured weird freak who killed all them kids. Do you know what I mean? When you're mixing with people like that, I couldn't really mix with people like that. Do you know what I mean? That's like that other prison. What's it called? Grendon House, which they send people to, right? They've not done sex offences or nothing, right? Just burglars and robbers and stuff that have got heavy sentences. They send them to that Grendon House, right? And they let all pedos and that come out. And what the trick is, apparently, the pedo sits there saying all what he's done and that, and you're supposed to sit there and you've got to take it and not do anything. I don't know whether I could do that. They're going, suppose how long you got in jail, isn't it? But yeah, mixing them all up, man. That should never be done. I've seen them. I've seen plenty of them in there. And they do look right off the fucking scale. Off like, I don't know whether they keep them drugged right up or what, but they look right off their nuts, off their tree. I think for real, like, hideous crimes. See, the system's wrong, see? If you're Ian Huntley or fucking some crazy sicko, right, you'll get prison, but you'll get, like, weights in your room and you'll get luxuries. But if you're just somebody that's fucking done a bit of shoplifting or whatever, robbed a house. Not that I'm saying house robbing's right, or rob, you know what I mean? nicked something, nicked a car or whatever, had a fight. It's just crazy, man. Yeah, anyway, like your burglars and your petty criminals are doing like hard time. Yeah, all your nonces and all that, and all your kiddie fiddlers and all stuff. They all got like luxuries. I think it's run the wrong way, don't you? They do sneak them on the wing, really. What was it? Rule 43, where they fraggle themselves off. Um, but I've only ever been on normal wings. Because when you get there, they'll ask you if you've been in prison before, and then they'll say, "Is there any reason you don't want to go on to the main wing?" And it ain't just pedos and that. It's old Bill, grasses. It's drug dealers who might owe someone 10 grand who's in that prison. Oh, I can't, you know what I mean? So he'll number himself off. No, I've always just been on normal allocation. In with the animals. Crazy. Really, then people like Huntley and people like that are just a waste of space, aren't they? Same as all these terrorists that are just chopping people up and blowing people up and running people over. Yeah, we've got to fund them, do you know what I mean? They should give them to the young soldiers for target practice, I think. But am I allowed to say that? Anyway, I'll be back later. Don't forget to like and subscribe, everybody. And I'll be back, is what Arnie once said.